Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to go over everything you need to know about the latest Nations of Hockey release in NHL 23. I want to wish everyone a happy holidays. For everyone that's watched my content, hung out in the streams, Discord, all of it, I really appreciate you guys, and I can't wait for 2023. All right, let's get into all of the new content in NHL. All right, we're going to go over the new Nations of Hockey cards. First, we've got the 83 David Kampf from Czechia with Workhorse and Shutdown. 6'2", 197 center with 86 on the draws. For anyone that's just starting out, maybe you're starting at Christmas time and you're looking for cards that are going to go for the bare minimum or the cheapest price for the Nations of Hockey cards, he could be a half-decent centerman for you if you're replacing bronze or, base gold cards. So not a terrible one, but more than likely you're just going to throw him into sets or sell him because the Nations of Hockey cards are still going to go for quite a bit as people are trying to get their collectibles done. Michael Backlund's up next, another centerman, 6', 206 with tape-to-tape. Not a very good ability, but he does have Thief, which makes his face-offs a little bit higher, I guess. I'd much rather have David Kampf if you were going to look for a cheap centerman. Next up, we've got Esa Lindell, 6'3", 220 with Dangle City and Shutdown. 86 speed, 86 acceleration, and 84 agility, so not the best skater. However, he is pretty big at 6'3". Dangle City is an awful synergy, though, so that's going to make him pretty unusable. He's got great size. Again, if you are looking for a card for Nations of Hockey just to use to get the collectibles done, not awful, I guess, in that sense, but there are far other defensemen I'd probably go after. He's got great size, though, so will help you out in the defensive zone. From Team USA, we've got Zach Werenski, 6'2", with Magician and Heat Seeker. I've really liked Heat Seeker and Seeing Eye lately, but that's because I go for nothing but tips, essentially. 87 speed and acceleration and agility. He's got 89 defensive awareness and 85 body checking. Again, an all-around okay defenseman, but someone you're going to replace pretty quickly. From Sweden, we've got the 86 Robin Lehner with buzzing and light work. Again, goaltenders are what they are, guys. Your defense is going to basically determine how good your goaltender is. There are a few, like Base Markstrom, that just seemingly can't stop the most basic of shots, and that's really goaltenders in totality in NHL 23. They are absolutely brutal. The worst they have ever been, and I know a lot of people say that every year, but with the implementations of human goalie animations, they have made them an absolute disaster this year. So, I mean, again, you're looking for a card that doesn't cost you a ton. Robin Lehner might be half decent. He's been pretty good before. Following him, we've got the 86 Tom Wilson, 6'4", with Truculence, which does make him a little bit more interesting. Again, Truculence is one of the best abilities in the game. 85 speed, 84 acceleration, however, he's just so slow. I mean, if you get Spark on him, even still, you're at the point now where they've done a half-decent job at progression in terms of letting the overalls get out of control, but almost everyone's got like 90 overall above speed, so Tom Wilson is more of a Division 1 card. Like, if you are someone who is very good at the game, you've just gotten it maybe, and you're looking for a cheaper card that you could utilize on your team, if you're good at holding onto the puck, Tom Wilson would be a great card for you, but other than that, if you're in the lower divisions and you kind of go end-to-end quite a bit, he's going to get absolutely blown by, and he's never going to create time and space. Montreal Canadiens fans are happier now with an 87 Nick Suzuki with Thief, which makes him much more viable at center with 85 on the draw. He's got elite edges, as well as 90 speed, 91 acceleration, 92 agility. This is a half-decent card. I think that Sidney Crosby cards are awfully similar to Nick Suzuki, and he's been okay this year. I used his 90 overall Team of the Week card with Big Tipper because, well, obviously, and he was awful for me. So I think Crosby's X Factor has been kind of hyped up this year more than prior years because he's got unstoppable force and elite edges. And I think that without it, he's just really tough to use. And I think a centerman, if you don't have a bigger centerman, we're getting to the point now where everyone's got bigger, faster, better players that you really need that bigger centerman in the defensive zone specifically. And then we've got the 89 Matthew Tkachuk, and you know I've been on a huge kick about Big Tipper, 6'2", 201 buzzing with total eclipse and Gold Big Tipper. I will be trying this card on the God Squad simply because I have been putting basically a full line, usually now my third line, of just guys with Gold Big Tipper. I've been kind of getting into like theme teams now. I think that's really the only way. Unless you want to just absolutely go all in on the behind the net garbage, which I just find super boring. I think making like themed lines. So I'll talk about this. I might do a team update video for you guys, but Big Tipper has been pretty fun if you are good at getting tipped tip shots on, and I think a lot of people might misconstrue just shooting from the point and tips randomly happening. It's not the case. You are able to set up actual tip plays in this game, and if you don't know how, go watch my how to score video. I cover it a little bit in there. Total Eclipse as well. I haven't messed around with it because there hasn't been any cards with it, really. I mean, I think the Evo Joe Pavelski, but that card is so bad that he's going to have to get to 99 before he's even usable, I think. This is going to be really fun to use. I'll let you guys know. I've never liked Matthew Tkachuk cards because he plays so slow, but everything else, he's a very Division 1, Division 2 type player with how big he is, so I'll let you guys know. Covering some other cards, we've got the 85 Carolyn Harvey with Bombarded and Thunderclap. Again, the women cards are just really tough to use on defense because of their shot power. I hope that if they're going to keep implementing high-rated female cards in the game, they kind of go and do something to address that, because I think that overall their builds are fine. Like, I mean, she obviously plays very small, and as a defenseman, it's very tough to use in this game, but you can utilize speed and things like that, but it's a shot power. You can see, like, it just does not go fast enough to really do anything unless you are purely going for tip shots. So Thunderclap might help, but Thunderclap really hasn't helped at all. That's been one of the more lame abilities in the game. Laura Stacey gets an 85 overall, 5'10", 157 right-handed winger, Light the Lamp and Unstoppable Force, 90 speed, 86 acceleration, 83 agility. The speed is nice, but it's going to take forever for her to get up to top speed, and again, that shot power is awfully rough, so there are better cards that you could probably use. Yaroslav Halak from Slovakia, I almost said Halakia. Distributor and Butterfly Effect. I apologize. I had my family over for Christmas last night. We've got Butterfly Effect, which is a very good ability. He's just so small, right? Like, it's a lot like UC Saros this year. Smaller goaltenders, they're a little bit more viable, like 6'2" range, which would have never been an option in like NHL 19 and 20. A little bit, you know, you can use smaller goaltenders now, but this is just not going to work. You can use him as a backup goalie to get your games done. Marek Zhidlicki is up next, the 86 overall right-handed defenseman with Workhorse and Heat Seeker. A fun card, again, if you were someone who's just starting out, definitely a usable option. It's very hard to find cards that have decent skating and defensive abilities early on in that mid-range, so he might be a decent option for you. Again, I liked Heat Seeker a little bit, so if you're just starting out, might be an option for you. One of the better icon cards this year, the 88 Mike Modano with Thief and Silver Big Tipper. 91 speed, 91 acceleration. He's got 94 defensive awareness. Always a very good skater, and 6'3". This is a very good card. Honestly, again, you're going to see a lot of this in a few cards that are upcoming. Everyone goes after power-up cards, so think like icons, X Factors, and this is the reason why they are not usually ever a good investment, because of stuff like this. Like, you could pay a couple $100K, get Mike Modano up, and his icon card is very good, but you could just spend, I mean, we'll take a look at what Mike McDaniel is going for right now in the auction house. This is on PS5 at least. And like 54,000 coins get you this card. This is an extremely good card, especially if you just start the game for only 50,000 coins. From Finland, we've got the 87 overall Saku Koivu with Spark as well as Quick Draw. Very usable center in terms of face-offs and skating and everything like that. But again, tough to use because of his size. But with Spark activated, he gets 89 on the body checking, which might make up for that a little bit. He's always been a sneaky good card. I think back to like NHL 21 with the Frosted Flakes event. That card was actually half decent. Moving on to some of the older icons, we've got the 88 Dale Howard Chuck with Buzzing as well as Distributor. Gold Quick Draw, Relentless and No Contest. Gold Quick Draw makes him viable as a centerman. As always, it's just such a good ability giving you the puck. If you watch my streams, I rarely ever lose a face-off because most of my players have Quick Draw or Silver Quick Draw. So 90 speed, 90 acceleration, over 90 shot. Very, very usable card. And again, has that two kind of speed synergy combo, which is nice. He's going for 65,000 coins. These are nice buys, guys, if you are just starting your team. It's very easy to start a team now around Christmas time when normally it's been more difficult in the past because you can catch up quite quickly. All right, now let's talk about the big guns. We've got the 91 Canada Wayne Gretzky with Booming Shot and Gladiator. Now, there's two trains of thought here. One, they are releasing great cards and they know how to make them good now with abilities and different attribute raises and things like that. And I've got to give them props because when they release cards like this, it's exciting because there's new great cards in the game. Here's the issue. Again, like I mentioned earlier, I spent about 1.5 million coins getting Gretzky and then another 1.5 getting Lemieux, who you're going to see in a second. And Gretzky, this one isn't as bad. Gretzky's Edmonton Oilers card is one of the rarest cards in the game. It's very, very expensive to make and all of that. He's got Gold Elite Edges and Unstoppable Force. Same combo as his upgradable one. Now, his upgradable one can get to 99, but obviously the cost is very expensive. 94 speed, 94 acceleration. He's got 98 endurance. His shot is above 95. One of the best cards in the game at center and on the wing, doesn't matter, with those abilities activated. So if you aren't able to get his power-up card, you can go out and get this card for a bit of a discount. Now, the Gretzky one, I don't think is worth it that much because he's going for about 1 million coins, and this is very similar to his icon, meaning that if you spend a couple 100,000 more coins, I mean, if you're in the market for a 1 million coin card, you can wait and get 1.5, essentially is what I'm saying, and get his icon card because you'll know that he'll be able to hit 99 eventually, whereas this card, it could be on your team for the rest of the game, don't get me wrong. I just think that it's going to lose a little bit of its value every month as other cards start to catch up to it. So no lie, this is one of the best cards, and I'm happy they made them so powerful, just because the rest of the player base is now getting a shot at them. But then we got to talk about this thing. All right, Mario Lemieux has been one of the best cards in the game for the last like 4 years that he's been in here. The icon card, you have to kind of decide because there's the 2000s version where he's slower, built like a centerman, not all that appealing, and then his 90s card, or I believe it's 80s, 90s card, is unbelievable in terms of speed, all of that. The normal Mario Lemieux that you would know, which is the one I would recommend if you're going to get a Mario Lemieux. His abilities on that card though are awful. Like I have nothing activated on that Mario Lemieux, and he does have a skating synergy, so that does make him a little bit better than this in terms of synergies. Here's the problem: he gets Thief, which is one of the best non-skating abilities you can get, and it makes him very good at center. He's got 90 on the faceoffs, 95 defensive awareness, and agility goes up as well. It's this quartet this trio of abilities. I mean, close quarters and truculence is unbelievable on this card. Close quarters, guys, I think you could have one or maybe two at most cards with gold close quarters because it's so expensive. However, because of how you score off the rush in this game, that far side shot, because he's 6'4", he's got a really long stick, and he's very fast, so he's able to cut in and get that. It's one of the better cards to have close quarters on. And then truculence. I mean, defensively, you throw everyone around, and Mario Lemieux's one downfall, even though he is 6'4", he's only got 80 body checking, so there are some bigger players that he might run into where he can't bump him off the puck easily. Truculence negates that, and then, I mean, we love Big Tipper here. So, this card is going to be better than the icon Mario Lemieux for like 2 or 3 months probably. So, this is going for 1 million. If I had to choose, it's Mario Lemieux, like, without a doubt. Unbelievable card. All right, guys, now on to the Master Set players. If you are new to my channel, maybe you're just getting into NHL, I will have a tier list that will show you gameplay because I actually go out, get all the master sets, play about 5 to 10 games with them, and then actually give you feedback based on how I've felt that they've played. So be sure to subscribe and tune in for those videos. But we're going to start out with the 90 overall Marco Casper with Gladiator and Protector. He's got Light the Lamp as well as Bombarded, so you probably want to go Gladiator Protector, which is a nice combo because it helps out players with lower body checking. He gets up to 89 with these activated. Gold Elite Edges is one of the best abilities in the game. Unstoppable Force is a phenomenal combo when you pair it together. 91 speed, 91 acceleration, 97 agility though. So with that Elite Edges, he could feel like a left-handed Barzal essentially, but we'll have to wait and see if that speed being a little bit lower impacts that. But an all-around great card. He's got 86 on the draw, so a little bit weaker with no quick draw, but you could play him at center if you really wanted to. Looks really fun, but you got to remember, guys, that in about a week or two, it's going to be Team of the Year, and we've got 91 Master Set players will come out in January, so keep that in mind. Next, from Finland, we've got the 90 overall Susanna Tapani, 5'10", 150, Spark and Wingman. You could also go Buzzing or Distributor, but you want to go these two. Great synergy combo, obviously, getting to 93 acceleration, 94 speed, and then potentially the best 4 abilities that you could put on a center card. Like I said earlier, they are becoming more aware of how to make these cards more viable with abilities because maybe the size is too small, or maybe there's some attributes that are a little bit lower. Like, I'm actually excited to try out this card. I don't think she will do amazing because she's 150, so even with we're gonna find out real quick how good Unstoppable Force is essentially. But Elite Edges is phenomenal, especially on smaller players. Close quarters, Unstoppable Force, Quick Draw, Player at Center could be a really fun card. All the other female cards have been a little rough though, except for, you know, Marie-Philippe Poulin, who has a force field around her for some reason. You just can't get her off the puck, but I'll let you guys know. Then we've got the 90 overall Thomas Chabot, Workhorse and Fly the Zone. Unbelievable synergy combo on 6'2" left-handed defenseman. Gold Heat Seeker, which I do think has some value because wrist shots are so potent from the point for tips. With Seeing Eye, which I've actually thrown in wristers from the point. No tip, by the way, guys. I think Seeing Eye stops the goalie from moving if he is screened. So I think it's an actual usable ability regardless if you go for tips or not, but that's for a whole other video. Elite Edges, which is fun on defense. Remember, Elite Edges is also useful when you don't have the puck, meaning that you can actually make cuts left and right without the puck, so it's always activated. 91 speed, 91 acceleration is right in line with all of the best cards. 97 defensive awareness is great. 88 body checking, a very, very good left-handed defenseman card. And again, I'll go over the tier list and where I think he kind of lands in comparison to some of the other ones, like let's say Slavin from the spreadsheet event. So I'll let you guys know, but he looks very good. All right, then lastly, we've got the Team USA 90 overall Jack Eichel, Thief and Booming Shot, Gladiator and Protector, great synergy combo. And he's always a very good skater. 92 speed, 91 acceleration, 94 agility. His shot is phenomenal. Hand stats all at 93, and defensively pretty good as well. He does have 88 on the draw with Thief activated, so you could play him at center, and he's got good size for it as well. Gold Wheels, which, again, I've said this quite a few times about Wheels, that unless it's one of the players that is exceptional in terms of speed, so McDavid, Barzal, cards like that, I'm not really a huge fan of activating Wheels because it's just it's 1/4 of your entire ability list, and I think that there's so many cards with good abilities that it kind of loses its value in that sense, but it's still very good. Then he's got Elite Edges, make it snappy. Elite Edges, as you know, is phenomenal. Something I want to point out here about Jack Eichel and Jack Eichel cards, and I don't want to start like a whole conspiracy theory, but Jack Eichel cards have always felt better than the rest of the sum total of his stats, and last year, I kind of alluded to this. There was a kind of a big thing that went around the community, and it's still the same this year, and I want to point this out to you guys. All right, guys, so if you go over to rosters and then edit player, I want to show you something that we noticed last year with a very select few players. So we're going to go to the Toronto Maple Leafs. We're going to go to Austin Matthews, all right, one of the most popular players in the world. Go to behavior, and then go to skating styles. And as you can see, 50 out of 99 style 1 for everything. If you go through every card in the game, or every player in the game, sorry, almost all of them have it. And by almost all of them, I mean, I think there's 5 right now in the NHL that don't. All right, now if you go ahead and take a look at Jack Eichel, for whatever reason, it's like someone stumbled in to the, ratings adjusters room at EA and just started messing around, and then was like, hey, you want to go get some lunch? And then they just saved it and shipped it. Because look at this thing. This is all over the place. This isn't one different style of, in terms of his skating. Someone went in and messed around with all of it, and for whatever reason, I don't know if it's the arm swing, but he feels faster and he's kind of harder to knock off the puck because of it. And I'm not sure if it's because of the skating style. It might mean nothing, but it's far different than 99.9% of the rest of the player base. Moving on to the sets, guys, we've got the Nation of Hockey sets. Nothing has really changed here, and again, if you're just picking up the game for the first time, you can basically trade in higher overall player items, their currency, for collectibles. Maybe the Jack Eichel guys and maybe Shabbat, but you got to remember Team of the Year is in the next week, and if you're wasting resources there, these cards next week or whenever Team of the Year happens is going to be so expensive that you're going to need pretty much everything. So keep that in mind. In my last video going over the World Junior cards, if you haven't watched it, go check it out. I mentioned this little hack for Team of the Year using your Nations of Hockey collectibles to get the 85 choice packs and just hold on to them, and then you might be able to turn 4 collectibles into a 90 overall player, whoever wins the World Junior tournament. So that's probably where I'd spend my Nations of Hockey collectibles, the free ones, not making them, but I'll let you guys know about Eichel and all the other master sets in the tier list video. Also, do not forget that they are starting to give away free cards. So if you go down to Nations of Hockey and you look at the objectives, again, this is how you get free Nations of Hockey collectibles, and if you get them all, you can essentially get a free master set player, or like I would recommend, trade them all in for World Junior packs. But it is an exceptional amount of games, especially because there's only 13 days left of the time of this recording, and it is very expensive to get those cards, like even just base ones in your lineup. 83 overall Nations of Hockey cards are going for a lot, but don't forget, if you go to Hut challenges and then go over to the Nations of Hockey challenges, they've gotten a little bit more helpful in that sense. So if you go through group 1, and again, these do not take long, you'll get 2 event collectibles right there. You can make a random master set if you really wanted to at 84 to upgrade right from there. But then if you keep going to the group 2, you'll see a random 82 Nations Nations of Hockey player and an event collectible, and then another set of it too. So that's 2 players right there for free. And you go on down to the group 3, and there's another one and another one. So you can get 4 players, 4 Nations of Hockey players, and those stack, remember. So if you play one game with 4 in your lineup, you're going to be able to get 4 games for that one. So a much faster way to do it. So just keep that in mind. And then lastly, I guess we should talk about the store. There's like 40 packs in the store right now, guys. It's Christmas time. They know everyone's getting, money and things like that. I never recommend spending money on packs in this game. I think that if you watch my no money spent videos and stuff like that, it's very easy this year to make a good team. But if you are dead set, maybe you've got a PlayStation gift card and you want to use it, always look for the ones that give guaranteed 80 overall plus ones first. So I ripped a bunch of these 3,600 point ones, and that's like essentially over $30 for one pack. Wouldn't recommend that. However, this one, like the Elite NHL Players Pack, is $9.50. And you get 8 players that are 80 overall, and you also get 16 gold players, meaning that if you want to work towards team builders and things like that, you'll be able to get a bunch with this pack right here. So something to just keep in mind. Again, pay attention to the odds and things like that as well, but just stay away from packs, guys. All right, guys, that is going to do it for the week 3 of the Nations of Hockey event. Let me know what you think in the comments section down below, and I'll see you guys next time. Have a good one.